Hello, third graders. I miss you, I miss you, I miss you. All of your third grade teachers miss you. We miss being around you. We miss being in the classroom with you. We miss working in groups with you, one-on-one with you. We miss you. But at least we still have this to connect, right? Through the computer. I mean, it's better than nothing. We love being with you guys and teaching you. So today, our learning target today is I can identify an unknown number. Our success criteria is I can identify the unknown number and communicate how I found my answer using math vocabulary. We've noticed that many of you aren't communicating your answer, but maybe you're not always using the math vocabulary that you could be using when you're communicating your answer. So looking at this problem that I've provided you, let's go over that math vocabulary. So when you have two numbers that are kind of together equals some other number, and the equal symbol like may be over here, or the equal symbol might be over here. But the number that's standing by itself, and looking at this, these numbers are kind of together, and then this number is standing by itself. We call that number the quotient. And sometimes the quotient might go in front. Sometimes the quotient goes in back. You know, it's still the same thing. This side is always going to equal this side. So if this were over here, then that would equal that. The total amount that you're starting with before you start distributing or dividing is called the dividend. Can you say that? Dividend. That's the number that is the total amount before it starts getting divvied up. Dividend, divvy, dividend, divvy. So the dividend is the number that's divvied up, that's put into groups. And the divisor is how many groups you're going to be putting it in. And the divisor is always behind the dividend. So the dividend is always the total number. The divisor is always how many groups that you're putting that total amount into. And then the quotient is how many is inside of each group. So for example, with this problem, notice how we don't know what the dividend is. We don't know how many we're divvying up. Say divvy, divvy. We don't know how many we're divvying up. So we're going to have to work with these two numbers over here to help us figure out the dividend. Say it, dividend. So we know that, and you know what, I'm going to kind of write on this. So the divisor is always how many groups there are. And then the quotient is how many is in each group. In each group. So let me get a different color to kind of separate those two out. All right, I want to get this orange color. Okay, so this is the groups. And then this is so much fun to write on. Touchscreen is the best. And this is how many is in each group. Now, we don't know how much we're divvying up yet. We don't know our total amount, but let's work backwards. We know that there are 3 groups. So I'm going to make 3 groups. 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups. I hope my groups are big enough. And remember, learners, when you're given problems like this, you're going to want to get a piece of paper and just kind of, write all of your thinking down on the piece of paper. And then you're going to communicate how you found your answer in the computer. It says that there's 8 in each group. All right, I'm going to make sure that I have like a bigger pencil to use, and I'm going to put 8 in each group. I'm going to put orange. So, because the quotient, we have the quotient, and that's how many is in each group. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And notice how I'm organizing these like an array. I'm trying to organize it just so to make it easier for me to count too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because there's supposed to be 8 in each group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have my 3 groups. There's 8 in each group, and the dividend is how many we divvied out, how many there are all together. So I have to count all of these together to figure out what my dividend is. So it's up to you how you want to count these out. I think I'm going to count it like, well, wait a minute. I can use what I know about multiplication to help me, right? So I know that there's 3 groups. Let me change my color because I think I'm going to write an equation to help me with this. There's 3 groups of. We know that multiplication symbol stands for groups of. 3 groups of. How many is in each group? 8. 3 groups of 8. Well, I know my multiplications table. I know that 3 times 8 equals 24. Now, just to prove I'm right, I think I'm going to do some quick counting. I think I might just count by, you know what? I know that there's 8 over here, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, plus, I know there's 8 here, plus, I know that there's 8 here. So I know my doubles fact, 8 plus 8, and I think I might write that down. 8 plus 8 equals 16. And then 16 plus 8 equals, okay, let me think about this. So 16, I'm going to count on 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 16 plus 8 equals the product, really, of 24. So my dividend, my unknown, is 24. And I think I might write that down here. I think I'm going to write W equals 24. Now, I know that for my teacher, I'm going to have to communicate how I got my answer because my teacher's not with me right now. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to start typing, and I'm going to say that I'm going to make sure I use my math vocabulary. To find and it's the dividend in this situation. It's not always going to be the dividend that you find. So you're really going to have to make sure that you're looking to see the dividend is always the big total number, what you're starting off with, and you're going to divvy out. The divisor is how many groups, and the quotient is how many is in each group. So to find the dividend, what did I do first? I first drew 3 groups. I feel like I need to move this so that you guys can see it, but oh, thank you, computer. To find the dividend, I first drew 3 groups and placed 8 dots in. Are you going to go back to the, oh, thank you. To find the dividend, I first drew 3 groups and placed 8 dots. I first drew 3 groups and placed 8 dots in each group. To find the dividend, I first drew 3 groups and placed 8 dots in each group. Then I knew my doubles fact, 8 plus 8. Oh, I should use the word sum, right? Because the sum is the answer to an addition problem. So then I knew my doubles fact and knew that the sum of 8 and 8 is 16. Then I counted on 8 more and found the sum of 24. The dividend in this problem is 24. I also knew, and learners, if you know a multiplication fact that helped you find that answer, then you could just say that too. I also knew that 3 times 8, I knew that the product is the answer to a multiplication problem. I knew that the product of 3 and 8 is 24. So, learners, that's what you're going to do today. You are going to be given an equation that looks similar to this, and you are going to find the unknown number, and then you're going to communicate to us how you got that answer, because your teacher is not there with you. Please know your teachers wish we were there with you. And don't forget to really make sure that you are persevering and not giving up. If you need any help, your teachers are always there to help you. You can send us messages through private comments in Google Classroom. All right, learners, we miss you, and keep up the great work.